We get a glow in an image when some of the image is just too bright for us to see and it burns and overexposes that section of the film or that section of the image. A little glow can really accent the hotness of the sun on a model and really show that, yes, this is a desert modernist home, for example, actually out in the desert. It's a neat way to stylize, and the temptation is to put glow on everything, but in a word, don't. Keep that glow subtle. Keep it nice and mellow just on the brightest parts to accent that sunniness in the scene. I'll put a glow on my adjustment layer, selecting it, right-clicking, and choosing Effect, Stylize, and Glow. The glow initially affects everything, or most everything, and what this is due to is the glow threshold at 60%. What this says is, start glowing at or above 60% of brightness in the scene, and as most everything is pretty bright in here except for the siding and the mulch, my scene is, well, on fire. What I'll do is bring up the glow threshold, pulling it into the almost 95 range. And this way I'm limiting down that glow just to really those roofs, the back wall, and that hot spot on the driveway where the shadow of the wall stops. My plants have a little glow to them as well. And now I'll take the glow intensity down, pulling it into the 0.7 range so it's not quite as hot. We don't want the glow to completely obscure any detail. I'll also take down the glow radius, putting it at maybe 6, again so it's a little bit less fuzzy on the edges. And now I've got a nice hot line on the rooftops, right where they come down to the shadow under the carport, for example. My plants also have that brightness I was showing in the reference images in earlier exercises, where I've really got that stylization going in this rich black and white of my desert house. Remember, a little glow goes a long way, and because glow is luminance-based, we need to make sure we have our basic color correction in first, so that the luminance is correct when we put the adjustment layer on, and everything glows properly. I'll put the glow on my dusk image as well, and show how it looks. Here in my dusk image, I've copied and pasted over the adjustment layer, putting on the camera lens blur as well as the glow. I've also brought in that comp of the Z-depth with its color correction, so it looks the same in focus. Now for the glow, I'm going to back off the glow threshold, because there's almost nothing in here that's at 95% brightness. I'll pull this back, and what we start to see as this comes lower and lower is that it catches more and more of the house. We don't want it to look like there's a fire inside, so I'll make sure that that threshold stays just high enough to catch a little bit of the light in that window. In the glow then, when we're dealing in a color image, we want to think about what color the glow is. And in that glow, we can designate it as the original colors, A and B, or an arbitrary map. When we run an A and B, we get a black and white glow initially, as our A and B colors are set to black and white. You can eyedropper from the scene for this to get a glow that matches in with everything else you're working with. I'll pick the eyedropper next to my A color and eyedropper the hot spot in the window. Then for the B, I'll go in and eyedropper something similar, or maybe a nice mellow yellow-gray from the driveway. Now that I've got this in, I can bring up the intensity and the radius just a bit, and we'll really see that glow match in to the rest of the scene. I'll pull the radius up to 8, and here's the intensity at 1. We can even back off the threshold, and it gets rid of most of the banding we were seeing earlier. A little glow just gets the idea across that it's bright inside. This is stopped down enough, that is, the image is dark enough by the aperture that we shouldn't see anything really glowing like in the daytime shot. Just a little bit of a warmth on those windows let us know the lights are on, and it really brings that image to life.